Well, hello. Welcome back, my friends. I am going to welcome you to this crazy world that is known as Wendy's World. Um, I've been doing a lot of new things recently, and I would love to share them with you. And it is really more about my approach that's changing than necessarily the outputs that people are seeing, although there's going to be more there. For one, um, okay, so I have curly hair. For those of you that are seeing this on the video, I totally have curly hair, and it's always been one of those things. I'm like, oh my God, is it just right for me to hit record? Okay, everybody who's listening to the podcast is like, no big deal. It's a podcast, but I'm trying to do videos and audios together. And anybody who has ever said that you shouldn't have wet hair when you're recording clearly doesn't have curly hair. They don't know what needs to go into that. And so I'm just recording right now, and I've got my fresh out of the shower kind of look. I've got on my no problema shirt. I don't know if you can see that there. No problema, because this is me. This is me just being quirky. And that's what I've been doing a lot lately. I have decided that I'm going to rip the band-aid off of this whole thing about doing videos. And I've been doing a lot of lives. I've been doing a lot of reels. And it's always been one of those things that when I'm going to go and hit record, it freaks me out and I get all up in my head and I can't think anymore. And so my new approach is that I just go out for walks with Max. As everybody knows, Max reminds me that it's always a good time for a walk. So we like to go out a lot, and I start thinking of things, I start having fun. And then all of a sudden I'm like, it's go time, hit record. Things start happening. So if you haven't already seen it, I'm having the time of my life doing this with, all of my quirks and all the things that I'm doing. You know, Sweaty, funky hair, all my funny t-shirts, all that kind of stuff. So this is the real me. It's real reels with Wendy. So anyway, go check it out. I'm officially on TikTok. Holy moly, my kids are embarrassed. I love that. Instagram and Facebook, and I don't know what else the people on LinkedIn are like, oh my God, what is this that she's doing? But yeah, you know what? Why not? So go check out the socials. In the meanwhile, so I wanted to just kind of toss around some terms that I've been hearing about and, of course, give my perspective on it. So, weight management. Has anyone suggested that you should perform weight management at home or take your child to a weight management clinic? Well, what does weight management even mean? Does it mean watching what you eat? Does it mean cutting back on portions? Maybe your plate size decreases? Does it mean eating more? Oh, I said that totally wrong. Exercising more. Exercising more. Do you do all of these things with the whole aim of managing or changing your weight or your child's weight? And do you judge the results off of how your weight's changing? Is that what weight management means? That's a freaking diet. And that's the thing that, it's like we're using these code words for diets. But at the heart of it, as parents, we are worried about our kids' weight. We have our own struggles. We are now seeing our kids' eating patterns and their own waistlines. But that does not mean that we get to manage their weight and create a diet mentality. Just notice how this is just a baseline subtle diet mentality that's being passed on to our kids under these terms of management. It sounds all medicalized, but I got to tell you, it's a diet. Our kids are not experiments. They're not variables to be controlled. They're children. They're humans. It's about living, not managing. When I had taken the weight management approach at in my own home, which is pretty much the standard medical approach, I've noticed how I was becoming fixated on how much and how often my kids were moving. Was it vigorous enough? Did it meet the guidelines for intensity and duration, for their health? And I became fixated on how much were they eating and when and what was it? Was it calorically dense or was it like a lighter type of food? I was really a freaking bear at home. Um, when I wasn't, what actually I wasn't managing was my own mind and around food, around weight, and my kids. And I became what I affectionately call Momzilla. The kids, they just sensed that attention and the focus that was being placed on their food, on their body, on their weight, on their eating habits. And kids do this even if we don't specifically bring it up in conversation. They're no fools. They notice what's going on here. And then they start questioning, well, what have I done wrong? Why am I so bad? Why me? It's not about the child. It's not about their weight. It's not about their food. And when we perform this weight management, we're not doing anything to benefit the child and their relationships. Weight management is just code for being on a diet. And diets are problematic for a number of reasons. They focus on weight as the primary outcome. Success if it's decreasing, failure if it's not. Diets focus on foods without understanding why or how we're eating them. Diets are prescriptive, meaning that, they're really generalized. They have all these general rules that you need to follow to say that you're, following the diet. And they don't really reflect how we really live from day to day, from meal to meal, from emotion to emotion. And the other thing about diets is that they're inherently created to be short term. You do this, you clean up your act or whatever it is that, we're thinking in the background, we get to some goal and then we can relax it. Well, that's not lifelong behavioral change. Real behavioral change happens when we recreate our relationships. And think about it, like how are your kids relating to their food and to their body as it is right now? Are they exercising because somebody's making them do it? Well, what do you think will happen if somebody's not watching? Are they sneaking food? Those like bright candy wrappers that you inevitably find sneaking out of their trash can or under the bed, the blankets, the corner of the closet. Um, that's because they're feeling restricted and feel that the only way to get the food that they're looking for is to sneak it, or else they're going to face some kind of blame or shame about eating it. Well, that's not a good relationship with food. It's not creating a good relationship at home where you're able to communicate and do things openly and freely and together. I've been there too. But here's the thing, like that's why I keep on coming back to this. There's hope. There is hope. What about that relationship that with food that we talk about? How is it that we can talk about our food? How is it that we feel about our food? And how is it that we act around our food? That's our relationship with food. Are we desperately trying to, ignore the sweets that are on the counter and then rushing back in and eating all of them when the willpower runs out? I kind of go back to like these disastrous, teenage love story type of things like, oh, I'm not going to look at him. I'm not going to pay attention to him. And then just coming back in when, the willpower runs out. I don't know, maybe it's just me having disastrous stories. But the other way is, like to look at this, like, are we looking at food as, the fuel for our bodies? How is it that we can invest in our bodies? Fuel for performance, fuel to feel amazing. How is that sweet on the counter, that dessert? How is that a part of that fueling? If you listen to the diets, they're going to say, nope, not a part of it. Well, when we recreate these relationships, we can see that it's not hard and fast rules. There's room for us to be able to have relationships with all sorts of different types of foods as we are growing healthy over our entire lives. It's really something that we can do this. It's just changing the conversation first for ourselves and then seeing what kind of conversations we're sharing with our kids. That's what we keep doing. So I get it. It's a new practice for all of us. It's something that doesn't happen overnight, but it's so worth the practice. You're talking about practice. All right. Oh, gonna get Alan Iverson in here as well. So you never know what's going to come out. Hey, as I think about all of this and all the other things that are coming up in the background right now. So I do have Family in Focus is going to be launching another group coaching cohort. So we're going to be starting somewhere around September. So the wait list is open right now as I'm figuring out all the other stuff in the background here. So go sign up for the wait list so that you know when the doors are open. With the cohorts, with the groups, this is where parents get to come together and really see that they're not alone. Really understand like what are the challenges that we're facing in our homes and how can we start doing this with creating those healthier relationships together in a safe environment where we can all be vulnerable and grow together. So groups are small. Don't miss your chance. Get on the wait list. If you go to wendyschofermd.com and then it's /wait/ oh my God, wait list -4-FIF. It is definitely in the show notes. And this is why I got to make things easier. So anyway, hey, so much love. I will see you again next week. And go check it out on TikTok, Insta, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter. Why not? I am on a social media somewhere near you. Love you. Bye.